multiple hats, no matter which hat you ask them to wear. That's a key to finding somebody like that. And it is hard to find somebody. It's also very important, and you hit on this in the beginning, to make sure the job description is open-ended so that somebody doesn't say, you didn't hire me to do this, if you ask them to do something different.
So have you found a commonality in the challenges that your clients face, or are they all different?
Of course, there's commonalities. I think the biggest thing I see with entrepreneurs is they want to know how they can keep their culture that they built while the company was small as they grow into a multi-million-dollar business. They want to know how they can change their business and not lose that spirit that they have, the thing that makes them love their job and their team and their company.
Michelle, I know that many of your clients probably have many challenges that they face. Do you find that there are any in common, or are they all different, or how does that work?
That's an interesting question. I see differences with every business. Every business has, its own unique challenges. But of course, there's commonalities. A couple of the common things I see is with entrepreneurs that are at the seven-figure mark and they're trying to go even bigger than that, they want to keep the culture that they had when they started that business. They're very passionate, and they put a lot of heart and energy and emotion into making sure that culture was intact throughout this past growth. And they don't know how they're going to do that as they grow into a multi-million-dollar business. So I see that a lot. I also see folks wondering how they're going to change their business. Maybe they're going to fully online and not lose customers. So that's another common. So a lot of the entrepreneurs I work with, the things that they're worried about, the challenges that they are most worried about, is more around culture and customer satisfaction. But I also see that they're not versed in business structure and back business. So that's the piece that I think they really could use some help in.
Well, and you're coming from a background that is so helpful with that. I think that what you said initially about keeping the culture, that's a really, really important point. And that's one of the things that, I don't know if you ever watch Undercover Boss. I do. And I'm always interested when I see people who are in the father owned the business and now the son is in the business, or if the business has expanded, and then when we say, well, it was such a family-oriented business, and now you hardly see anybody from corporate. And I think that it happens that I think keeping a culture, a company culture, especially if it's well known for that and they do a great job of it, is really important. But I also think it's a very difficult thing to do when you grow.
Well, you have to put the structures in place. You can't just talk about it. And you can't just put it in the copy of how you communicate. You have to do some really serious work around your mission, your vision, and your values. And then you have to include that in everything you do. And I mean everything you do. It has to be in every training for every employee. It has to be in how you decide what vendors to hire. It has to be in how you communicate to the world. And if you do that work up front and you have it established in the veins of your business, if you will, you can carry it forward. There are companies that are huge.
Yeah, I think that's a toughie. I really do. And that's something that I know that I personally probably needed help with. I grew my company from 0 to 7 offices and 350 people. And, I kind of just did it as it went. It was very organic. And, I was very young. I mean, went into business when I was 21. So I was very young, and it kind of all worked because of my personality. But again, not an easy thing to do. And that's exactly when you need to bring somebody like you in, because you can say, okay, this is going great now, but these are the things you've got to look out for. So when you become a business mentor to somebody, how long is that? Is that a 6-month process, a year's process? Is it forever? I mean, what kind of a situation is it?
It depends on what people need, Gail. I work in all different measures. Typically, I work with people for a year, and I'm kind of their interim COO, marketing manager slash business mentor. And I set them up so that they can hire into those positions going forward. Now, often I will be their business mentor going forward, but I will not be an internal COO or a marketing manager or director. So those are the things that I'll set up those structures so they can make those good hires. I also work with people on if they are working on a small project, say a project that may take 3 to 6 months. I can spot work on a project like that as well. For example, I have a couple of clients right now who are working on building the culture, their team, and their leadership. And so that piece right there, if I just do a portion of what I would normally do for a full set, I can work for 6 months or so with somebody.
Well, that's interesting to know. So if people wanted to find out more about you and what you do and how you do it, where would they go? Where would they go? How can they get in touch with you?
Okay, I'll tell you a website, and actually, this is a free report that I'll let everybody that's listening have. So you go to sevenfigurebusinessmodel.com. That is all words: SEVENFIGURE sevenfigurebusinessmodel.com/10 questions, and the 10 is a 10. Questions, questions. sevenfigurebusinessmodel.com/10 questions.
10 questions. Okay, 10 questions. Fantastic. Well, I think that coaching has certainly become much more popular in the last many years. On the other hand, that doesn't mean that all people who do coaching are good coaches. So the important thing here is to check out the qualifications of the people who you work with. And Michelle has a lot of experience in the corporate world and now has worked in the entrepreneurial world for a year helping other people. And I think, Michelle, you really bring to the table the experience that other people don't have if they've not worked in that environment. Because I know myself, when I talk to people and I hear things, someone who has worked with systems and with processes and so forth has a totally different viewpoint than someone who has not done that. And I have to say to you that I had a lot of systems that I didn't know I had. I remember when I used to do a lot of telemarketing and for my business, and I never thought I had a script. I thought I was so original and so unique and so empathic. And then one day, my little son at 3, he used to have a toy telephone he played with, and he had his toy telephone, and he said, "Hello, this is Gail Carson, and I'm calling," and he did my entire thing at 3, and I thought, oh my God, I've got a script. And so there are so many things that I had processes for, but I didn't know they were processes, and they weren't really formalized, and as I opened my other offices, I saw where they really needed to be in writing, because otherwise people could use all kinds of excuses for why they didn't do things. So you brought out some marvelous points today. And again, if you want to get in touch with Michelle, you want to get her questions that she has for you, go to sevenfigurebusinessmodel.com and /10 questions. Is that correct? It's the number 10, correct?
It is the number 10, Gail. And I just want to say a little bit more about what's there when you get there. This is the perfect thing. This is the perfect thing for people that are looking for a business coach or a business mentor. It's a due diligence set of 10 questions that you need to ask before you hire a business coach or a business mentor. It will help you figure out, it will take all the hard work out of how to decide who you should hire. If it's not me, I hope it's somebody. And if you're at this point in your business, it's really important that you find somebody to help. And the one important thing is make sure you really like somebody that you're going to get into a year-long contract with. So the key for me is business systems are important and they're a necessity, but they don't have to be boring. So I love to make it fun and interesting, and we have a great time getting all these systems in place. So that's important to me, is that you find somebody that you really hit it off with. This is a person that almost joins your executive team for a year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Michelle, it's been wonderful. We're at the end of our show today, but thanks for being with us. And everybody, go to her site. Make sure you get those 10 questions. I'm going to go there and get them. And I really appreciate you being with us today, Michelle.
It's
Thanks
been
so
my
much.
pleasure. Thank you, Gail.